So if you're watching this, I just want to take a moment to offer my sincere gratitude for being here on the ground floor of what I feel is something really special right around the corner, and share a little insight on how I arrived here. This video isn't going to involve any game industry news or commentary, so I won't hold it against you at all if you decide not to indulge me, but I do appreciate those of you who choose to stick around for this. In all honesty, this channel rebrand has been a long time coming, only now have I realized what exactly to rebrand to. SP Patrick was never meant to be the channel's identity. It's a gamer tag. I'm a senior editor over at SmashPad, and my name is Patrick. Simple as that. I always wanted my channel to be more than just a repository of whatever videos I felt like uploading at any given time. I always wanted my channel to have a deeper identity than that, and even though it has taken 9 years, I've finally found it, all by pure happenstance. Little Akiba Games is the amalgamation of a couple different ideas that I've been rolling around for the last several weeks. The addition of import game coverage was going to happen no matter what, if anything, went on with the channel's branding. Meanwhile, I had a few separate conversations with friends that got me thinking about what I would do theoretically if I suddenly grew an entrepreneurial streak and opened up my own game store. These started out as entirely separate lines of thinking, and the latter was really never intended to go anywhere, even though the vision of said store became clearer by the day. I'd build its identity off the beaten path. GameStop and Best Buy could have the Call of Duty, Madden, Assassin's Creed crowds. I'd go after the limited run, import, and retro types of gamers instead. The store itself would be set up as both a place to buy video games and a place to just hang out and enjoy being immersed in gaming culture. I'd even have a few TVs set up for people to try games out before they buy, or to run fighting game events on the weekends. Simply put, I'd go after the audience that the major chain stores weren't even thinking about. A little slice of Akihabara in the American Intermountain West. Unfortunately, I have no entrepreneurial knowledge to speak of. I love my family, but I'd be delusional to claim that I grew up in a financially literate household. They were very, what I would call, red tape averse, and there's no denying that it's a trait I fully inherited. Even now, the mere thought of facing legal consequences for forgetting to dot some I or cross some T when trying to get a business license or startup loan or whatever because of some step of the process I never learned about in the first place inspires intense anxiety and prevents me from even taking that first step altogether, which is fine, honestly. Gaming media is my field, not gaming retail, and the little Akiba Games shop was just a fun idea that kind of took on a life of its own the more I thought about it. But I did have a YouTube channel that still needed a brand to build around, didn't I? After all, I didn't want it to just be a channel labeled with my gamer tag forever. It was here that I started contemplating what aspects of the shop idea I could realistically translate into channel content. I can't sell games myself without getting into business territory, but I could set up affiliate links to games I talk about to make them more directly accessible. I can't set up a physical space for gamers to hang out, game together, and generally share in this side of the gaming culture, but I could do my best to try to foster that kind of community on my channel and in my comment sections. I can't provide a means for new audiences to get hands-on time with a bunch of awesome, relatively obscure games, but I can try and make my videos as rich in stock footage as possible to bring you all closer to those games before you get the chance to actually play them. Realizing this was one of those incredible rare moments in life where everything just clicks and falls into place perfectly. If I could bottle that feeling and sell it, I still wouldn't do it because I'm truly that terrified of having the feds breathing down my neck for not being able to navigate the legal technicalities of the business world. But you get my point. Little Akiba Games was almost a complete actionable concept. There was just one thing missing now. Obviously, it's important on YouTube to have visual representation of the speaker, which I've never really done in my commentary videos. It's not because I don't have a camera. I do, and I probably have some older videos on this channel that prove it. No, the problem is that I really don't like to appear on camera when it comes to my recorded content. For streaming, it's fine, but when I'm recording, I make so many cuts to the audio that if I did that for on-screen appearances, the result would be some choppy, max headroom nightmare that I have no desire to subject you all to. Such edits don't really lend themselves well to being a VTuber either, so I decided to take more of an old-school approach befitting the channel. This isn't the only time I'm going to talk about this in the coming days, but PSM Magazine's Bonsai Chibi-chan is one of the prime influences to my upcoming import content. In an age when magazines were just politely giving a page or two to a couple of import titles that were doing well in Japan or were getting a good amount of hype, this anonymous correspondent was giving readers legitimate inroads to the import scene, info about what was selling well, what big titles were coming up, even teaching you terms to navigate the games directly should you choose to take the plunge yourself. While admittedly some of Chibi's sections could be a little bit cringy, he often provided PSM with the best part of the magazine month over month. At a time in my life when I absolutely craved access to the import gaming scene, I felt a lot closer to it because of Bonsai Bonsai Chibi-chan. That being said, I would never try to appropriate the character or assume the mantle of Chibi Jr. or whatever without any way to get the thumbs up from the writer and artist involved, but I did want to pay tribute and kind of adopt that old PSM section as a mission statement for what I aim to accomplish. So I reached out to a dear friend who is a wonderful artist in her own right to create a character that is stylistically adjacent to Chibi, but is also clearly its own thing altogether. And you'll be seeing the finished product before long, but the temporary channel icon is your sneak peek. And with that, Little Akiba Games became a complete idea. I'm still waiting on a few things to come in before I initiate the full relaunch, and I still need to cut some more stock footage of some games for that first wave of videos, but we're getting closer to it by the minute. If you've made it through the whole video, I am so grateful you took the time to listen to how this all came together. You truly are in on the ground floor of something amazing. In 23 years working in the gaming media, I have never been more confident in a content niche than what I am about to do with this channel, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for it. We're almost there, friends.